Now, since you clicked on this video, I'm here to tell you that YouTube ads, when ran correctly, can generate thousands, if not millions of dollars for your Shopify store. Now, the key word here is ran correctly. Now, if you're new here, my name is Antonio. I'm a paid media consultant for a Fortune 500 company, and I manage millions of dollars worth of ad spend across various social media channels, so I know a thing or two about YouTube ads. Now in this video, I'm really gonna break down YouTube ads in three main parts. In the first part, I'm gonna discuss how to properly set up your YouTube ad campaigns for success. In the second part, I'm gonna discuss how you can put your ads in front of your ideal target audience. And lastly, I'm gonna show you how to create the right video ads that actually make people wanna click. Now I do wanna tell you from experience, you can get steps 1 and 2 dialed in perfectly, but if your video ad is trash, your campaigns are going to struggle. So definitely watch this video, in its entirety. So if everything sounds good thus far, let's get started with me showing you how to actually set up your YouTube ad campaigns. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is set up your Google Analytics. Now this is very similar to the Facebook Pixel if you're familiar with running Facebook ads, but if you're not familiar with the Facebook Pixel, all Google Analytics does is track people on your website and the behaviors, right? And so this just allows your ads to perform better because Google knows exactly, who are converting on your website, who's going to certain pages and stuff like this. So you definitely want to add Google Analytics and their tracking to your Shopify store. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So as you can see on the screen, it's going to say, welcome to Google Analytics. Now all you're going to do is click start measuring. Boom. You're going to type in, your name of the account. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to say Shopify test. Keep it simple. Well, if I can spell right. Test, hit next. Shopify test again. Hit next. You're going to put in all your information. If you're a small, medium, large business, measuring, optimizing, check everything that applies for you. Hit create. Select your country. Should populate. Accept. And it's going to ask you email communications. You can click this if you want to. You really don't have to. Just hit save. Okay, so boom. So what you're going to do from here is go to data streams and click web. And this is where you're going to want to put in your website to create your data stream. Okay, and so this is where you're going to click what you want to measure. Okay, and they're going to give you a lot of options on conversions, outbound links, all that stuff. Now, since I've already set up mine for my particular website, I'm not going to input the information, but once you create the stream, it's going to give you what is called a property ID, okay? And you're going to take that tracking and input it into your Shopify store, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. So now that you have your Google Analytics UA code, what you're going to do is log into your Shopify store, and then you're going to go to online store, click preferences, and then you're going to see your Google Analytics here. Okay, and then all you're going to do is paste the code, and then you are good to go. So this just allows you to have tracking for your ads so they perform better. Very, very simple. So once this step is complete, now what you're going to want to do is go to Google Ads. So when you look at Google Ads, this is what it's going to pop up with. They're going to ask you, have a Google Ads account, would you like to create a new one? You're going to hit new Google Ads account. Then it's going to walk you through how to, set up your account. And I would recommend, you'll see here at the bottom, are you a professional marketer? hit switch to expert mode. So it skips all the extra stuff that they have here. It's gonna load. Then you're gonna wanna do create account without creating a campaign, okay? Because this is just gonna let you bypass all this other stuff, because they're gonna try to get you to spend money, but you don't wanna do that. So hit create an account without a campaign. Hit submit, tell your information, Eastern time, all that good stuff. Submit. Explore your account. And boom, you're gonna be all done, okay? Okay, so now that you have your Google Ads account set up, now you're gonna wanna connect your Google Analytics and your Google Ads account together so they talk to each other and everything is all good once you run your ads. And that's actually pretty easy to do. So what you're gonna wanna do is go back to Google Analytics. You're gonna come from the admin screen. It'll probably look like this. Again, this account, I haven't set up the data stream, but you're gonna wanna go to admin at the bottom, click products, click Google Ads. You're gonna click link, and then you're gonna click choose Google Ads account. Then you're gonna, connect this account, and boom, you are good to go. Everything on the back end is connected. You connected your Google Ads to your Google Analytics, and your Google Analytics is connected to your Shopify store. Okay, so that is the first part. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. If you have any questions, comment them down below. But this just ensures that all the data, all your ad spend is worth something. You collect this data, you're able to use it to generate more sales. Okay, so now I'm gonna walk you through actually running through setting up your campaigns, okay, through Google Ads and setting up the targeting and all that fun stuff. Okay, as I have on the screen, you're gonna wanna click new campaign. And then you're gonna see a whole bunch of boxes. Just to keep it simple, you're gonna wanna click create a campaign without goals guidance. Okay, click that one. And then since we're running YouTube ads, we're gonna click video. So we're gonna click that one. And then we're just gonna click custom video campaign. Now there are going to be some other campaigns that you run. The only other campaign that you would run would be a drive conversions campaigns. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of talk about, the two main campaigns that you want to run, which is one, a prospecting campaign. And all that is a campaign that you run to a completely cold audience. This is somebody that doesn't know your brand, doesn't know your Shopify store. And this is just gonna get you some data, drive traffic to your store, XYZ. And then there's also gonna be a conversions campaign that you're gonna run. This is primarily for people that are already warm to your Shopify store. These are people that have already came to your store. They're already a little bit familiar with your brand. And those are gonna be conversion campaigns. Now, the way that you set up a prospecting campaign and a conversion campaign is exactly the same. The only difference is the actual objective or action that you want somebody seeing your ad to take, okay? Does that make sense? I hope so, okay? And so that's the only main difference in the setup, is the actual action that you want to tell Google that you want people to make. But essentially the setup is exactly the same, and that's what I'm about to go over right now. Okay, so what you're gonna wanna do for now, again, this is gonna be a prospecting campaign. You're gonna wanna hit continue. All right, and so when you pull up the screen, there's gonna be a lot of stuff on here, okay? So don't feel overwhelmed. It's actually, very simplistic, all right? So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do is just name your campaign. Naming your campaign is actually very important, okay? Because there's a lot of times if you don't actually name your campaign correctly, Once you start having a whole bunch of campaigns, you may get a little confused on what's going on. So what I always like to do is name the campaign based on the objective that I'm going after. So in this case, I'm just going to name it Shopify Prospecting Campaign 1. And so that's something that I always like to do for my naming of campaigns. But you really want to be as specific as you can when you're, really going through this. Now, I always, when it comes to bid strategy, always use maximum CPV. I just find that it's worked best. You can test target CPM if you do have CPM goals that you want to go after. CPM is just cost per mil, which is 1,000 per impressions. But I've always personally ran CPV. That has worked well for me. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna want to do is change this to daily. Okay, I've always found having a daily budget is better. That might just be my Facebook ads, side of me. I'm used to daily, so I always run daily. But I will say, if you are gonna run daily, pick an end date, because I found that, I've kind of set it and forget it on accident, and Google will continue to spend your money. So make sure that you set an end date here. But you can start with very low budgets. I know a lot of people feel like, man, I don't have $1,000 or $10,000 to run ads. If you have to, start with $5 a day, $10 a day, $20 a day, whatever you're comfortable with, just to get the ball rolling. For just this, I'm just gonna do $20 a day, just to get started. Okay, but whatever budget that you have is totally fine. You have to start somewhere. Okay. All right, next is going to be networks. I always remove this. I haven't found a lot of success with display network personally. You can test it, but I always like to run my ads on the platform. Never use display network. Again, you can test it if you want to, but I wouldn't do it. All right, next, very simple, locations. Run your ads in the location that you're native to. So for me, I'm in the United States. Now, if you have bigger budgets, you can go up and test other countries, but I recommend, especially if you're just starting out, just use the native country that you're in. And if you're in a native country, I would stick to all languages. I'm in the United States, so 9 times out of 10, someone that's in the United States speaks English. Now, for whatever reason, if your native country has a whole bunch of different languages, then, use that specific language, input it. But for the most part, all languages is fine, especially if you're in a country that, uses only one language. And then inventory. I've personally always used expanded inventory because I don't judge my customers. Whatever they want to watch is cool. But if you do have a brand that is, sensitive, so let's just say you have a conservative brand that doesn't want to run ads on specific content, then by all means, I would recommend using, just the standard inventory. But you don't have a really conservative brand, then expanded inventory just, put your brand in front of more people. Okay. So for me, I've always done expanded inventory. Now here it excludes different types of content that is on YouTube. So for me, I've always excluded embedded videos and live streams. I haven't found those to work very well. So I've always excluded those. And then again, if you have an audience that you don't want to put your ads in front of, like mature audiences and stuff like that, then by all means you can exclude it. But for me, again, I haven't really done that, but I've always excluded live streams and embedded videos personally. All right, now this is a new one. I haven't seen related videos before. I haven't tested it. If you want to test it, by all means, try it out. But I don't think this is necessary personally. Okay, so now from the campaign view, you now have your ad group, okay? And so how ads are set up, you have your campaign level, which is just the overview of everything, your encompassing of your ads. And then there's ad groups, right? And this is where you actually get to target, who you want to see your ads, okay? Now, I recommend if you're first starting out, just start off with one ad group at a time, okay? And then have an ad. As you start to grow, you can have an ad group with 3 or 4 separate ads, right? And then build it out. I'll put a campaign structure on the screen so it makes a little bit more sense for you. But I'll go through the ad groups and the people that you can start to reach on YouTube, which is really, really good. Google has a really good, robust audiences and demographics and segmentation that you can go after. I want to walk you through it right now. Okay, so the cool thing about YouTube is that you can go after specific gender. So this is where your market research really comes in hand. So if you haven't done your market research for your Shopify store or for any online business that you have, you definitely want to do it, because you're pretty much going to take what you have and just input it into Google, okay? And so if you have a primarily female audience, then, click, female and go from there, right? If your age ranges are 18 to 24, then you're going to unclick the rest of these, right? And so it's very, very straightforward here, okay? And then from there, you do have different audience segmentations. I personally haven't found a lot of success with infinity audiences, but if you have a broader audience that you want to test, that does fall under these, like beauty, banking, wellness, finances, if you have audiences that you want to test, then by all means you can do that. And then the cool thing is that when you select your audience, it actually shows up the impressions that you can get on the right hand side. Now, I do recommend not testing more than one audience at a time. So let's just say I did want to test avid investors, then that would be it. I wouldn't try to test a whole bunch of audiences all at once. Okay. Now, again, the smaller the budget, you don't really have a big budget to test a lot of audiences all at once. So just to be safe, only test one audience in one ad group. Okay. But I do want to show you all the audiences that you can target and the robustness, I know that's a big word, you feel me, of YouTube ads, okay? But you can, segment your audiences and go through here, and it'll, show you a whole bunch of interest, which is dope. The next thing you can do is go after specific keywords. So if you're familiar with the keyword planner or use Moz or SEMrush, right? You can put in these specific keywords that your audience is using, and you can target these keywords, okay? Which is super, super dope. And you can put these in, and you can target people based on keywords that your ideal customer is using, okay? And then also you can go after specific topics, right? Again, if people are into body art, face and body care, right? You can even segment down to hygiene and toiletries. You can go down to toothbrush or toothpaste. So, this is perfect for somebody that's in the, beauty niche, right? Skincare. So if your audience is into these things, you can literally target people based on celebrity news, comics. So if you sell, comic books or cartoons or any of this, like these topic segmentations for your audience is super dope. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much more time on this, but I will say my personal favorite is placements. Okay, I found a lot of success with placements, because if you know what type of YouTube channels or YouTube videos your audience are into, you can literally type in the URL and paste it right here and it will show up. So let's just say you have a beauty product, right? If you follow a beauty influencer and they watch their content, you can literally type in the search bar this video specifically, right? So for me, I'm in the drop shipping space, right? And Shopify, I know my audience watch Jordan Welsh a lot, right? And so I type in Jordan I can run ads on his channel, right? Which is super dope. And so think about ways that you can use this, right? To target your specific audience and put ads in front of them. Okay. So I can literally create a whole video just on audience segmentations and audience, targeting. But this is like a very, very quick overview on it, but you can go very, very in depth with this. Okay. So next we're going to go into maximum cost per view bid. And so a lot of people like to ask me, how much should they spend cost per view? And I like to say, 25 cents or lower is a good starting point. And so all that means is, YouTube will charge you is not going to charge you more than 25 cents per view. Okay. And so you can go lower than that. You can go higher than that. If you notice that YouTube isn't really spending your money, then you probably need to go higher. Okay. Because if you try to do 1 cent, 2 cents, 5 cents, and you notice they're not spending, then you need to go up to 10 cents. If you do 10 cents and you notice that it's not spending, your bid probably isn't high enough, okay? So you can start as low as you feel comfortable with, but if you notice that your ad isn't spending, then it's probably because your cost per view bid isn't high enough, okay? But for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna do 25 cents and go from there. All right, and so here is where you can actually paste your URL for your video, or you can search for your video. For the sake of time, I'm just gonna search how to market your clothing brand. Boom, my video pops up. Okay, and so in here, you can select what type of ad you want to run. You can run a skippable in-stream ad, and essentially all this is it plays before, during, or after another video on YouTube. It allows them to skip the ad within 5 seconds. Okay, you can do and then you can do an in-feed video ad, which all that is it appears in YouTube search results next to related videos, the YouTube homepage. You invite the user to click via a thumbnail, okay? Now, and then this one is the bumper ad. Short video plays, in-stream must be 6 seconds or less. And so I've always found a lot of success with skippable in-stream ads personally, because this plays in front of the video and it's very simple. Now you want to make sure that your ad is really a good sweet spot is 30 seconds or less. And then all you have to do is type in the URL for your video, your display URL. And then if you want to have a call to action, like a click, like a shop now, you can do that. It's very simple. Boom, shop now, put in your URL, www.throwbackclothing.com. Boom, and then that's what's going to show up, okay? Then all you have to do is click campaign, and boom, you're done. You created your first campaign in literally like 20 minutes or less, okay? And it's very, very easy, okay? And so that's it. That's really it. And you've created your first campaign. Okay, so now that we've discussed how to actually set up your ad from tracking all the way to completing the process of setting up your campaign, discussing targeting and actually inputting your ad, right? Now I want to discuss actually creating good ads that get people to click, and the 3-step formula that I always use when actually creating good video creatives. So when it comes to creating successful YouTube ad creatives, there is a 3-step formula that I always use, and it's called CRA, and that's just an acronym for Captivate, Resonate, and Associate, okay? And it's really simplistic, but very hard to do, okay? So when it comes to step one, which is captivate, you really wanna take advantage of the first 5 seconds, okay? The first 5 seconds when it comes to YouTube ads is very, very critical, okay? And you wanna do something to captivate your audience. You wanna make sure that you catch their attention, okay? And you can do this in various ways. You can put pop-ups on the screen, right? You can do quick movements with the camera angle. You really just want to test different ways to get your audience's attention, okay? And so that's step one. Step two is resonate, okay? So what product are you trying to sell? And how can you resonate with your audience? What type of information can you show them? Or how can you showcase the product in a way that, you know, they feel like it's for them? So you can do this by either, you know, entertaining them, informing them with something, right? Educating them. Like, you need to figure out a way that you can resonate with your audience, okay? And then lastly, the third formula is associate, okay? And this is where you get them off of YouTube, okay? You need to tell them your brand and what is the call to action, okay? And so you need to let them know why you gave them this information, right? Why did you educate them? Why did you entertain them? What was the point of showcasing whatever product that you have? And how can you get them off to your website, okay? And you really need to do this within a 30-second time frame, okay? So the first 5 seconds really is captivating. The, you know, 15 seconds or 10 seconds can be for, you know, your, you know, resonating piece. And then the last 10 seconds or 15 seconds is your associate piece. And if you use this 3-step formula, I promise you, you're gonna have successful video ads. Now, when it comes to the complete campaign, I recommend having at least 3 creatives to test. And so that way, when you're running a campaign, you have your overarching campaign, you have your ad group, and then test 3 creatives, okay? And I would say having 3 creatives for every ad group that you have, okay? And so if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I hope that you appreciated the video. Until next time,